This is Do by Friday, a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge: find a new use for a button.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
I'm a bit frazzled.
Yeah, what's up?
That's all right.
Why are you frazzled?
I've broken all my buttons, including my keyboard buttons. I bragged to you this week. I said I was killing this challenge, and I still think I did. But I also just killed some of my.
Is this something you want to talk about now?
Yes.
Okay. What's up?
No,
it's okay. You keep talking about buttons, so I feel like we should probably give you an opportunity to.
This week's challenge: find something new to do with a button.
Okay.
That's what we called it, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. It's kind of a little late to change the name of it now, because you're very involved in this.
I am. I had a very involved week and a very exciting week.
Well, tell me all about it.
Oh. I mean, that was pretty much it. I was excited. That's an involved week. Making a soundboard out of old podcast clips.
Okay.
And automating my.
Wait. Okay. Less than 2 minutes ago, you came in super hot. Mm-hmm. You've done a lot with buttons, and you've broken a lot of shit. And now you just gave me a whistle-stop tour of two things that you did. Is there anything you want to explore in more detail in a more story-like form? Or should we just do this all in bullets? That was my response.
If I had my soundboard, I could push. And I could. It would have been so funny, Merlin. It would have been so good. It would have said.
Okay, well, what are you telling me and our listeners? I don't understand what your story is. You're frazzled. Oh my God! You're frazzled. How'd you get frazzled? What broke?
Oh, my You Look Nice Today soundboard broke, and there's just a
soundboard is a thing that AM radio shock jocks do, where they hit a button and it goes, "Oh, me so horny" or whatever. And you use something like not loopback. What the fuck's that called? Did you use the Audio High or the Rogue Amoeba app?
Yes, I used Loopback.
And with that, you get an array of buttons. Did you make this on a Stream Deck? Did you make a virtual Stream Deck, which is apparently now a thing? How did you? Oh my gosh, buttons! What? Frazzled? Egg?
Her?
Better ride back in the truck with Egg.
Oh goodness gracious. Oh boy. Here, wait. Maybe.
That's not nice.
That's you.
That's not nice.
That's you. That's what you sound like.
And what is the interface for that look like?
Well, it is called Photos.app on an iPhone.
That's how you made that sound happen just now?
Yes.
Where's the loopback part?
No, the part where you launch it.
So you wanted to make it in loopback and it didn't work out because your buttons broke. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I broke.
So you were making a You Look
Nice
Today soundboard. That's cool.
Let's not make this an officer-involved shooting. Alex broke their shit and confidently said, I can fix this in 30 minutes.
Oh,
and
no, this all happened today.
Confidence.
Oh, that's what happened this morning.
Yes. Yeah. You always make fun of me and say I don't do the challenge.
You don't. But no, but I'm 4 minutes. I'm trying to take what seemed at first like a pile of string and now seems like a child's drawing of a pile of string. And I'm just trying to form it into something. So, hey, everybody. Funny thing, a little bit ago, Alex said, "Oh no, we got to record later." I said, "No problem." I said, "Thumbs up," like I do. And because I don't want to say, of course, or anything, I'd like you to feel a little bad about being Late
As they
every
should,
episode.
yes.
But the big thing, oh my God. So that one of your, okay, so, but make a thing. So your idea was, and that's exciting. That's exciting. You decided to make a You Look Nice Today. Do you remember there was one, it might have been before your time, but the first soundboard I remember, and soundboard was a term I remember catching on in the probably early 2000s, I want to say. And there was one that got a lot of, and so soundboard, basically you go to a page, and I think probably using Flash, probably must have been Flash. It would have this interface with a bunch of buttons on it, and it would be a soundboard for a thing. And the most famous one I knew of was the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. Have you ever heard that one?
No.
So somebody had done a really good job snipping out, famous or hilarious things that Arnold Schwarzenegger said in movies. And it became very popular with people. It's not a tumor or whatever. Leave it out. Like whatever it is. And then I think that became a thing where people like shock jocks or whatever were using it to make prank calls. You call somebody and try to make them think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger using just the soundboard. This is the kind of thing we used to have to do. We only had 3 channels. Actually, we had 600, but we didn't know it. But that's what I remember. So a soundboard became a way of saying like, okay, and of course I'm thinking of Chinese Greg and Jewish Greg on Parks and Rec. You know who I'm referring to here?
No.
Oh, so I'm sorry.
Chinese Greg.
Never mind. So you don't know Parks and Rec, right?
Greg, I
It's okay.
know
Just
the
say you
gay guy.
don't. Just say you don't. Okay.
I've seen the show.
It's not important to the story. Collect your string. To promote things occasionally, people from the Parks Department will go on the local radio show. For TV coverage, they go see Shauna Mulway-Tweep, and her show, and she passes it on air and stuff like that. But anyhow, they're going to go on this radio show, and they always end up, I forget the name of the radio station, but it's a morning shock jock team, Crazy Ira and the Douche.
Yes.
And Crazy Ira and the Douche are played by real life Leslie Knope husband, John. Wait, I might get confused here. Wait, John Glazer plays Jam, plays the guy in the city council. Who are Crazy Ira and the Douche? I know one is what's his name from Upright City. Anyway, it's a morning shock show. They got to go on, and she's trying to be all serious and keep it straight. And they keep wanting to you got to watch the girls wrestle in the Jello pool. And they have a guy who sits there mute and expressionless, and you'll hear something like, "Be so horny." And you look over and there's this guy just sitting there at a soundboard with no expression on his face. And the 2 appearances I remember, one of them is Chinese Greg, and the other one is Jewish Greg. Like, oh, that was a good one, Jewish Greg. That didn't really help that much, but that's when I think of soundboards. It's a funny way to be able to. But also I remember one time. My friend Ben, who worked at the local public radio station, sometimes let me come in and hang out and visit. He was an announcer and news guy on WFSU. Ben, everybody, Ben from Coldwater Army. You all know him.
Ben.
Yeah, Coldwater Army. Yeah, bring me the head of Ann B. Davis. And they had that too. I'd never seen this before. It's like when you watch an old video, like a Trash Theory video on Peter Gabriel, and you first learn about Fairlight, or you watch like a Trevor Horton thing and you learn about the amazing early samplers. They had a big box with buttons on it. And again, you have to understand, this is like 5 or 10 years before NPR went digital. Like I had a friend who worked on ATC and Talk of the Nation, and until they went to digital in the early to mid 2000s, she was still cutting tape, like up to the time of air, like cutting actual tape.
I have done that. It's very weird.
So stressful, yeah. But this was interesting because this was probably 1994 or 5, and so they could do and it was exciting for me because I wouldn't say I like the idea of public radio now, but I was completely subsumed in public radio for 20 years. And so it was so exciting to me to hear like the little theme song, not Morning Edition, that comes from the feed, but like their little local things, that they would play. And he could just hit a button and play it. It's the most amazing thing in the world. Who knows what that even cost, Now today you got it right on your computer and it doesn't work. I fear loopback, and I'll tell you, it's nothing against Audio Hijack. It's just that it's the thing of theirs that I used to use Piezo. I don't need it, and sort of like changing anything with my audio setup. I'm just always so superstitious about it, and adding another thing to what's already like a second order virtual computer mix. I'm just always afraid I'll screw myself up. Like something will accidentally duck. You know what I mean? Or like something, or it'll just like cut out because it doesn't understand what that channel is supposed to be. And then you got to open that goddamn MIDI app. You ever have to open the MIDI app?
Oh yes, I'm in the
That app
the
sucks.
MIDI app.
Oh my God.
Just looking at it.
You going
Look at
44 or
those
48?
levels.
You going 48 or 44? What are you doing? You picking your wattage? You got your kilowatts all set up? Do you know what kind of amp draw you're getting?
Well, is it the pre or the post? I mean,
I'm
it
talking about the
depends.
PC.
Yeah. Oh, well, and where is it in the chain? You never know. You never know.
Right.
The-
Chief
the whole-
Constable.
The
Talking
whole
about a signal
reason-
chain? I'm talking about signal chain. Thing is, in life, you have to understand: is it their output or your input? Is it their input or your output? Like, where's the problem come? Could it be that you have bad headphones, or you're jacked in wrong? It's just something to think about.
No,
I was belching when I said that. I'm classy.
Checking.
So, where do you stand now? What did you screw up? Did you just have to like
Oh.
reset a bunch of stuff this really quickly?
Yes, as well as all of the key bindings across Mac OS just seem to
Wait,
not work. I'm
Wait,
I'm
what?
going
What does that
into
mean?
the keyboard shortcuts, Command Space.
Listen. Here's the thing.
Alfred's not popping
saying
up.
you're saying a lot of nouns, which is good, especially if one is in it's like a Halloween for nouns title, trick or treat, and then you say buttons, and I say thank you, and then I egg your house.
Not even toilet paper.
We had exactly one group of trick or treaters, exactly one, and it was 3
How old were they?
fucking teens. And I want full
Did they
bars this
even
year.
have
I want full
costumes?
bars. Yeah, they had
for
costumes.
you,
I didn't give them full bars. They didn't deserve full bars. No, I even got nice bars. I got a Chocolonely, and I got a nice Cadbury Dairy Milk, and I got a bunch of Snickers bars, and then plus like we got a regular old premium variety bag, a little nubbins, little Snickers.
You're saying nouns that feel okay.
What I'm naming are different kinds of candies.
I recognize
I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Snickers.
I'll stop being interesting. We bought a bag of Halloween candy that was individually wrapped. Haha. Small branded
Other
things
than-
from the M&M Mars company that were in individually wrapped containers. But we
But is
also
that a
had
big
full bars.
bar?
Chocolate is kind of candy. This is like that scene in WALL-E where he learns about dancing. It's like you're watching the computer and you're learning like what a plan is. Wait, is it WALL-E that learns that? Who learns that? It's WALL-E, right?
I don't know.
Classified.
I don't.
Eve. Anytime I hear the word Eve. Okay, this goes on the list. You know that list we have of what do we call it? There's private mind motions. Then there's also just the
Yes.
things you always think. Like for example, I confessed yesterday that every time I read, like to refer to the idea of having a poll where you learn what public opinion on something is a field of called polling. And every time I see the word poll, because I can't control it, I hear something that David Letterman said in probably 1983, which is he would use it over and over. He would say something like, "We polled over 100 Americans," and then he would look directly at the camera and say, "And I think we all know how painful that can be." Now, give it a minute. Give it a minute. Give it a minute. He said, I'm not saying that's an exact quote.
Like 6 level.
It's so good. I think we all know how painful that can be. Yeah. That's another one. Anyways, but the nice thing about Halloween candy is that you can always eat it.
As opposed to
Like a Christmas present you forgot to wrap and give, a quart of milk that goes bad the next day.
so are you saying that you are like
We eat the
keeping
candy that didn't
Halloween
go to
stuff
children.
the whole year? Well, but okay,
Candy's
this
the kind of
is-
food people like to eat.
It expires though. If you go back into
Before the
your-
family would finish the bowl?
well,
I just don't understand
for
how you
my
live. I don't
family,
understand how you live. Do they not
I
eat?
guess I
Okay,
don't
well, act like
eat
it's
enough
food
to
that you like. Act like it's paper or rice.
Okay.
If you had a big bowl of fresh paper, wouldn't you want? You love that because you love the texture. You could put a guest bathroom soap in your mouth and spit it out just because you like the mouthfeel.
We've gone over this. Like
That's why it's called a reference, Alex.
Take a bite. I know. And
no, you wouldn't take a bite. You said you wouldn't because you just want the mouthfeel.
Yeah. You bite it, but you don't chomp the whole thing off. You just.
Oh, but you still
are
bite
like,
it.
Arr. And
God, I'd love to go out to eat with you. I think I went out to eat with you once. I have a photo.
Yeah.
I think you're wearing some kind of corrective cast or something.
Oh yeah, that was.
Is that from jerking it?
No, that was from doing the 12-inch MacBook. That's what I call it.
I like
That's
your onesie.
A reference
I like your onesie. Does it come in men's? And what does he say? What does Wayne say?
Need it.
He says,
I need it.
I think you come in men enough for all of us.
Is this a test? I was doing Chris Fleming.
What are you doing? I know. No, I know, because that's
So
your reference. And I was what's up with treasure?
What a week.
What's up with that treasure trail, Big Scoots? You're like a 12-year-old Dutch girl. You can kiss my aesthetician.
Oh, I'm quick.
I watch it over and over, and it's still funny to me.
This is an important.
You're doing terrific.
It's an important thing to know.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
that Halloween candy could last more than a year because yes, I'm not a fan of Snickers. There's some big
there's
bars.
a lot of business
that
with
keep-
expiration dates. That's a whole jam up.
Well, I thought this was true. But then I tried some ramen from 2016 and I thought, there's me. It's me. I'd like to bite the soap and the paper. Maybe the texture is just, maybe it was a different brand of ramen.
Did it get, I wonder if it got, so the texture of the ramen, I wonder if it got wrongly chewy from moisture over time? Because part of what makes noodles good, at least according to videos I've watched, is people like exactly one thing that I think noodle connoisseurs love is that all the different kinds, whether it's soba or ramen. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that movie Tampopo? Is that what it's called? Not Tampopo. Is it Tampopo? Was that the ramen movie?
Is it a short of? Oh wait. Is this the Pixar short with the little duck blinking?
No, that's called. Oh, I know that. It's by that person I like. It's no, I know this. It's the one where the kid turns into a dumpling. I love that one.
Yeah. Oh, look, Bow.
That's such
Bow.
a good. And the person who directed that did like Red, maybe, I don't know, or something.
Possibly.
My favorite Pixar short is the fast food one, where Buzz Lightyear is stuck in with the giveaway toys at the store.
Whoa. I am not fronting. I've never seen this. Oh my God.
It's called. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. My brain. I'm in a different state of mind. Also, Tampopo is amazing. It's a Japanese movie that's a cross between a Western and a food movie, and it's about ramen, and it's really, really good. Mm-hmm. That's my kind of indie. I'm looking up Toy Story. It's by Angus.
And while you're looking that up, I'm going to clarify.
Angus
I did not cook
food.
the ramen. I like plain ramen noodles, just as like a little snack, and they were no longer crunchy.
I don't think that's plain, Alex. I think that's raw.
Uh-huh.
Now, isn't that a thing people do in like South Korea? No, don't people like smash it? Forget it. Okay, fine. It's called small fry. It's really good.
That's
You've
a
seen
good
it.
name.
It's got Jane Lynch is in it. And it's got oh my gosh, it's got Taekwondo, which is a deer that does martial arts. It's got you should see it. It's really good. Is it Angus MacLane? Angus MacLane. That's the name of the director of that. So what happens is they go to this hilarious medieval themed, I guess, what's her head? I'm not remembering anything today, and I'm so sorry, the little girl in Toy Story. They go to this fast food place.
I came in frazzled. I broke Merlin. I broke the button.
No, I'm not broken. I'm fine. Yeah. But it's a fast food place where it'd be funny. Everybody always wants to have me join their group on a podcast. I don't know why. There is no we in podcasting, unless one has to urinate, in which case I have a bleach bottle. But my point is, Bonnie, their family goes to this chicken place. It's medieval themed. It's really fucking funny. It's got a lot of Megan Omram level like puns in it. It's very funny. And she came up with all the names for the restaurants in The Good Place. You ever seen her list of names for businesses in The Good Place?
No.
Megan Amram, she's got the best Twitter photo of all time back in the day.
No.
Anyways.
no. This is a.
So what
a
happens
gap.
is she brings her Buzz Lightyear toy with her, that she got, when Andy went to college. I'm not going to cry. Seatbeltiest seatbelt you've ever seen. Andy goes to college. Remember that?
We need a term
She
for
says,
this.
she says, my cowboy.
Yeah, we
And I cry.
need.
And I cry and cry and cry. 2010.
That's the end of my.
It's a movie
guess
about the
my
Holocaust, but
childhood
that's for
media.
a different show.
What?
I could make a case it's a show about the Holocaust.
That Toy Story 3 is
Yeah.
a show about. I mean, there's one scene in particular I'm on board for, but fuck.
Mm-hmm. So anyhow,
You could do a YouTube essay on this. You and Lindsay Ellis need to get. Oh fuck. Oh
what
no.
would it take for me to
What would
make
it take?
video content? And then you left off my very funny answer. Well, you made an audio clip and put it on the internet, but you left it, which is sweet of you. Thank you for listening to my program. But anyways, so Bonnie and the thing is, she brings her Buzz Lightyear with her, and I forget exactly how it comes about. But you go to you go to Burger King, especially probably for your age, and you get the good premiums. You can get the Little Mermaid thing or the whatever, the premium. It comes with your Happy Meal or whatever, right?
And
Buzz Lightyear gets left behind and ends up in the basement of the fast food place with all of the other old promotional toys. And
like the little Princess Diana beanie
well, the problem is there's a little
Mm.
giveaway Buzz Lightyear there who thinks he's the real Buzz Lightyear. Now you want to talk about layers. I know you haven't seen this
Holy
film,
shit.
but think about this. Think about the entire premise of the first act of the first Toy Story movie.
Oh my god, this is.
I don't want to spoil Toy Story, but at one point there's an animated toy cowboy who says to Buzz Lightyear, who thinks he's an astronaut, he says, "You're a toy." He hasn't accepted his fate, like a lot of people who in the 30s
Oh,
who were forgotten
fuck.
about and kept in an attic for a while.
Wait, so
Kept in an attic for a
the
while.
entire
Like Anne
I'm
Frank.
not. I'm intentionally not. No.
All when I wanted to see white roses in their eyes.
I'll listen to that album again.
Song
this
Against
week.
Sex.
You're right. You
Song
can't.
Against Sex might be the best trombone song in rock music.
You know what?
That's the first Neutral Milk Hotel song I ever heard. And I don't know any of the words to it. You know that song, right, from on Avery Island?
Yes.
So Buzz gets left behind, and okay. So how about this? Do you remember one of my absolute favorite movies of my kids' childhood? Did you ever see Wreck-It Ralph?
Yes.
Okay, you remember when all the bad guy video game characters have like a meeting together, like an AA meeting? Remember Sanjeev or whatever, the guy with the underpants says, just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you have to be bad guy. Right? Ditto here. There's like an encounter session, like AA group in the basement for all these toys that have been left behind and forgotten from old promotions. And they're all DJ Blue Jay. They're all so fucking funny and stupid. Grappling hook Gary. He's just a grappling hook, and they all just want to be played with. And Buzz is trying to say to them, look, no, I'm the real Buzz Lightyear. So there's a lot of levels to it. Angus McLean. Now, what else did Angus McLean do?
Oh God!
did
I'm almost
another
there. Angus.
Finding
wait,
Dory,
that's not,
he co-directed.
Oh, I thought it was the Nutri Milk Hotel guy, not Jeff Tweedy.
Jeff Mangum.
Pixar guy, Jeff Mangum. Thank
John
you.
Lasseter. He was
Elephant
briefly in.
Sticks.
He was briefly in Nutri Milk Hotel
John Lasseter. Wait,
a long time ago.
no, you're fucking with
Angus
Oh.
McLean. He's from Riverside County, California. Oh, he went to RISD. That's cool. That's where Talking Heads went.
I was gonna choose to believe that John Lasseter was it.
I have often thought there are ways that I could really benefit from Loop Back. And honestly, now, like having a Stream Deck, I use my Stream Deck so wrong. I mean, that's kind of what would be an ideal way, right? If you wanted a soundboard, probably Stream Deck.
Well, what I use it for,
The Stream Deck, you can just go in and say,
had
play
been
this
using it-
sound. It's that easy, right?
Yeah, I just use it as media buttons. Not just, I should say media buttons and my lights. But then
I have
Hue
one
Lights
for
app
changing
was
between
retired.
headphones. I'm sorry, I apologize.
For what?
I cut you off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I just have used it for the hue lights, and
Yeah,
then
I'll send you mine. Oh, excuse me. Oh dear. So it sounds like you listen to Roderick, huh?
you posted a
Answer would be yes or no. It sounds like the answer to that is yes.
yes, and
I move my green thing.
we
and then
talked
my
about
green-
this in
Oh
the
my
after-
fucking god!
we talked about this in the after
You
show.
are
and
immune
how
to narrative.
I was vaccinated for that. All right. I didn't zoom
How
in on
many
the
times?
photo.
How often? Jeez, immune to narrative. Go ahead. No, keep ranting on. Why would we want to have a through line to this?
We have a line. There's buttons. There's the Holocaust and some dumplings. And now you're going to tell me about what you use your Stream Deck for, which I think is similar to me, just turning the light on and off.
That's hilarious. You've made it really funny. No,
I,
I've got my Stream Deck is 3 rows of 5 buttons, and I have one. I'm not going to send it to you now. You blew it. I got one that switches between USB pre and Studio Display for audio, right? Just toggles, just a button. If headphones versus speaker. I got one for turning off or on my fans, and all of the rest are for lights. I will send it to you, even though it's dirty.
oh, not in a fun way. That's
Well,
fine.
it's fun for people who don't know what to look at in a photo.
That's. Well, talk about the through line. I can circle back. Your idea of a soundboard was just really limited and way more fun than my idea of soundboards and my experience of
What?
soundboards.
Okay.
Well,
Wait, so okay, sorry. I'm sorry. Just the others. Nobody. See, the thing is, everybody listening to this right now is not listening to you as carefully as I do, and I can almost promise you that everybody listening right now does not have as much potential context for trying to understand what the fuck you mean. So sometimes I just need to pause and say, so the soundboard you were working on was mostly just a lark. See, I would just be using it to make Jewish Greg sounds, and the one you wanted to make was going to be like more ambitious, yeah. It might play Vivaldi or something.
it would just fade in and sounds in and out. Like instead of just like Jewish Greg could be slowed down in real time, like do a sort of it wouldn't be ducking, but the way
Music
that
bed
it's like
kind
a
of thing?
slight, yeah, but a delay on top of that, because you can now do that digitally. And the whole,
So
I
this
know
is a
it's
bit.
very
This
weird.
is a bit, right?
I mean, it would be a bit for the
So you would play
show,
like
but
you
no.
would play like a Blink 182 song, but slow and with echo. You do a dub mix or something. Is that what it would be?
Yeah,
And it would
like
just
a little
play.
crossfade, and then but you could
You didn't
also
actually
then
make
switch
this, did
to
you?
lights.
You thought about this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll send it to you. The crossfade.
No, please don't.
Never mixed. Okay. I will put it on the internet. I am.
Will there
now
be any
looking
context for people understanding what you're talking about?
for the people who look at a photo that I post on the internet? They'll be like, "Oh, that's a photo similar to."
And they'll understand how the
one...
music bed part works and all that, and the slowing down and the dub mix. You're a regular Lee Scratch Perry.
I feel like
Yalla
that should
mana
get a
nika mouse.
ding. But I don't. I feel like that should get a ding. I think that was funny, but I didn't know the reference. No.
No, there's a kind of music that came out of Kingston in the early 70s. And yeah, it's called dub music. And that became very influential. Dub mixes or dub remixes, where you would have, and they're all about what they call sound systems, which we think of as, two techniques and a microphone. And so, yeah, and when you play it live, you could do stuff like add echo to it. You could do big dropouts all of a sudden. So if you've ever heard a reggae song, well, almost all reggae songs go on way too long. But then there's the ones that go on and on and on and on, and they got lots of echo in it and weird drop-ins and dropouts, and they sound like they were done by somebody who maybe was a little stoned. That's dub music, and it's super cool. And a guy named Lee Scratch Perry was one of the pioneers of that. And I still have the copy of the Beastie Boys Grand Moral magazine that has him on the cover.
Okay, that's really
Meant to look like a Wheaties
that's
box.
Really,
You know about
really
Grand Royal magazine?
I have not read it,
Beastie
but
Boys
I've seen
and Spike
it, and
Jones
it
made a
looks
magazine that was so
cool.
fucking cool. And it was
Yes.
really beautiful. It was very skateboardy. It was beautiful and very well written. And it had funny bits. There's one bit where Mike D. Have you ever heard of GTI, the Guitar Institute, or GIT, the Guitar Institute of Technology?
No.
It's like, about like Juilliard or Berkeley would be a good example.
Yes.
Berkeley School of Music. GIT was kind of like Berkeley, but for guitar players. And it's it's kind of what you'd expect. A lot of what came out of that was some combination of sounding like something between Robert Fripp and Yngwie Malmsteen. But anyway, one time Mike D went to the campus of GIT in a mullet wig and walked around with a guitar, and they wrote a piece about it, and it was really funny. That was the kind of thing they do. Mike Magazine by Dave Eggers, also a very good magazine. The 90s were a good time for magazines. And then paper got expensive and no one cared.
Did paper really get expensive?
Yeah, paper got really expensive. Yeah, that was actually a huge deal. I think later than that, but yeah, paper got expensive. And if you want to get a little James Burke about it, it was also just interesting because there are so many things that had fallen to a legacy, history, and economic system based on paper. And when that became more costly, that became, one of the things that made, I don't know if it was bad on newspapers initially. I don't think it was newspapers that were suffering, but especially for things like magazines. Then Craigslist came along, caused a lot of problems.
R.I.P. Craigslist.
No, but I mean Craigslist. That's the reason we don't have newspapers now.
So it wasn't just the
Napster.
internet. The R.I.P. Napster. You're kind of breaking my brain.
Me?
Because the way that you're talking about paper is sort of, or at least it's similar to how publishers are talking about books now and how they are more expensive. And
I think
at first
in books, isn't all the money in
internet.
marketing? Isn't marketing the expensive part of books? If
I don't know.
If you charge $40 for a book, I haven't bought a hardcover book in a couple. No, I've bought hardcover books, but I haven't thought about it very much. But if you're charging $30, $40, I bet it. So what do you got? You got all the stuff that involves the making of it, up to manufacturing, I guess. So you got all like exclusive of like paying the author and their agent or whatever. You've got maybe in advance. You've got the process of the editor working on it, then, art people, layout, that kind of stuff, production. You produce the book. You know way more. No, I'm just guessing. So in so many industries, especially things like retail, labor is the number one. Here come the kids. And labor is always the big cost, right? I think labor is the big cost for almost everything historically. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think, things with like the election last night, I don't know. It always frustrates me when people leave off the denominator about something. Like they'll have a denominator for something, but they don't give you any context for how that denominator fits into a bigger idea. And that made me very frustrated last night. Ali Velshi, who I really like, but last night was wearing some kind of business casual men's blazer vest that was very upsetting. So they were saying, and one thing I really like on MSNBC, I miss Kornacki, but I like the thing where they show you, okay, here's the results we have. Here's what percent is in. I'm talking here about an election, if y'all are listening to this at a different time. Anyhow, there's a bunch of election things last night that a lot of us were following closely. And one of them was a proposition called Proposition 50 in California. And, but it's so interesting. We could say like, okay, this person's running for governor, right? And there's that phrase that I didn't used to understand, that word outperforming or underperforming. I always wondered if that was a weasel word that didn't mean anything. And then I came to understand it. So you say, like, okay, at this point, with 91% of a vote in, this Democratic candidate is winning 58-40 something, right? right?
Yes.
But
and
then
I pretend to understand, but I don't.
Well,
That's not true. I
well,
don't even pretend I don't
come
understand.
on, you're being silly. You know what that means?
No, I'm not, because they're
You mean that means that out of 100 voters, 58 voted for that person. That's what a percent is.
Yeah, but what is the over under that I have heard that used interchangeably, and I'm like, I don't know if this is something
Over,
that
under.
I don't. The
Over-unders where you bet somebody something. One person picks a number and the other person picks whether it'll be over or under that. Okay, so anyway, they say, okay, look, that's and such person. Mary won this election. She's a Democratic candidate who, at this point, it looks like is going to have 58% of the votes that were cast. And then what I think is actually super helpful in terms of trend lines. And listen, trend lines are not the same thing as the data. This is so important. But it's a very interesting trend line, but hang on. So you see, Mary won 58% of the vote tonight, which is pretty interesting. And then right next to that, they'll say Donald Trump, say, narrowly lost this particular area of, crucial Waukesha County or whatever. And right next to that, they can show, well, the Democrat did this performance last time. And if you put 3 of those up, it becomes very interesting because you can see how like that dingaling who just ran for governor for the 4th time and lost for the 4th time, you could see that, how people did better over time. And you see these trend lines. So it's really interesting though, because if you're saying the state of Michigan voted this way tonight, the state of Michigan voted this way in 2024, this way 2020, 2008. Right? That's crazy interesting because the literal denominator is roughly the same for all of those, which is the voting population in a national election. Okay, this was not a national election. This was even barely an off-year election. It's like a weird year election. And so we had this proposition because we're California. And he goes, look at this. This is so crazy. Look at how well this passed.
How well?
I mean, look at how
That's something I would say in how well this passed. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
This passed easily. And I don't. Oh, it's not that funny, Alex. You're just staring at my finger. You're missing. Oh, fuck it. Never mind.
No. Seriously.
Here's the thing.
That was something that was said on MSNBC.
Let me put it to you this way, and don't make a joke to me. I know you're smart, man. Don't act dumb. Think of it as a pie graph, right? If you've got a pie graph, it's good to know what size the pieces of the pie are, but it kind of pales in comparison to the deeper understanding of how large the pie is. This comes up in so many places. A place that this comes up a lot is on ATP, where they talk about stuff like why there's not a new Mac Pro, why there's not a da-da-da-da. And you say, well, here's the number of people who buy computers. Here's the percentage of people who buy this kind of thing, and smaller and smaller and smaller. Every time or fandom, right? Every time your pie slice gets smaller, every time you have to think about the size of your slice in terms of how big the pie is. And here's the direct example from last night that finally made me very frustrated. Because I'm really glad for what happened last night. I'm not a big fan of the Democratic Party right now, but I'm glad the trend line is better than it was. That's all I'll say about that. So they put up the thing, go, oh my gosh, check this out. Prop 50 tonight is passing so easily. Isn't that crazy? And and the funny part is because we're California, there was nothing else on the ballot in California, at least statewide, right? It was just this one thing. Do you agree with Prop 50? Yes or no? Do you want this? Yes or no? That was it. And look at look at the percentage of people that voted for this. That's crazy. He says, like 1 million people in California, I think was the number, came out and voted for this, and there wasn't even a person on the ballot, which, I mean, that's actually a super good point. It's a pretty obscure kind of election, but first I get a little tickle that goes, well, that's one of the things about off-year elections, which is in addition to responding to previous elections, you're also very incentivized to vote. You're only really incentivized to vote for something you super care about, positively or negatively. So that's already one self-selecting thing. But here, let me get to the basic thing. He says, okay, 1 million people came out and voted. I think that was what he said, something like that. How many people voted in the 2024 election? I think it was more like 13 million. Mm-hmm. Those are so we got a pie over here. Let's say this pie is 1 million cubic inches, and this pie is 13 million cubic inches. Well, to quote the great Mark Cuban, would you rather own all of a grape or part of a watermelon? That's a denominator thing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm friends of the show, Dr. Don, Kieran. Like, I know you guys all understand this, but I'm saying some really rudimentary stuff. But like, talk about losing the forest for the trees. Like the percentage of a million, any percentage of a million. Let's look at it this way. Let's be a dick about it. If you want 100% of a million, that's still not nearly as good as winning 30% of 13 million.
Mm-hmm. And
because you're talking about a grape versus a watermelon title.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
A lot of good ones. No, it does.
So I don't want to diminish anything that happened last night. It's all good news in that sense. But let's not go crazy forgetting the context that we're really talking about here, which is, I mean, we were kind of, it's kind of like the Washington Generals beating the Harlem Globetrotters just because the Harlem Globetrotters didn't show up for the game. If the Washington Generals win by default, well, good for them. They get paid either way. But that's not like Trump on the ballot, honestly. It doesn't tell us that much about how the people who didn't vote feel about it.
Okay, yes, thank you. That's just my whole thing of this is really interesting, and also it freaks me out because I don't know what the other pie necessarily even is. And as much of like the Nate Silvery, Trumpy, coverage of all of the different pies happens when I am watching NBC, exactly what you said. I'm like, okay, I don't necessarily know what this means. I know it is a good thing.
That's the smallest. That's the smallest number on the screen is the total number of votes. Because it's really the percentage it is the percentage that matters. Because that's the horse race, first past the post, right? Ooh, CGP Grey video. No.
Yes.
I was talking to my kid about that last night with the New York mayor race. And like, because I began the evening with this, I don't know why, what is wrong with me? Is it the presidential election? It might be the presidential election where it's 50% plus one, right?
Oh, I don't know.
And but the Democratic candidate was at 49.6%, and I was like, oh, that's not enough to win. Because in my head, I thought he had to have 50%. I forgot that it's majority. Not, or sorry, plurality, not majority.
Yeah.
That's right. Isn't it? Plurality is the highest percentage. Majority is like over 50% kind. Is that right?
I believe so. But again, one of those things.
But plurality, if you're doing like an Israeli election or something, and you've got like 60 people running. Well, no, coalition governments. You know what I mean? Same with parliament.
Yes. Well, and I mean, I stopped watching all coverage as soon as Claire
McCaskill came on.
MSB.
I've almost worn out my remote changing the channel when Claire McCaskill comes on. Unbelievably fast, I can change away from her. The former Missouri senator, Claire McCaskill.
Oh,
she has nothing to
hello.
add. She has nothing to add. Continue.
So, as soon as a tweet shows up on the screen, I know that there's nothing for me to learn. And you look
for
at
me, that's
like,
whenever they interview a young sweaty congressperson. I was like, oh, no, flip away.
There's
flip away.
lot of them. There's.
Oh my
Why
God,
are they
some
sweaty?
Of them are so fucking well because they're ambitious.
And
People
no,
don't go into
sometimes
politics to help people.
I know, but it's
that's the Peace Corps. That's a different thing.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they go to help people either. Sorry. I will not talk about that.
What? What are you talking? So okay, what Peace Corps?
I'm getting away from the narrative. I'm not digging. Nope. I'm not digging. What were you following last night? And like, what did you?
I wanted to see if all the good stuff won, and it did. That's why I was watching. Are you familiar with what happened last night? Do we need to talk about politics on Do by Friday?
No. I want you briefly glossed over the denominators and how interesting that is.
The denominators, I think, are important because I think they're important in general. We don't talk enough about denominators. when we give a numerator that is really dramatic and then slap some denominator under it that's implied or whatever, I guess what I'm saying is there's a numerator and a denominator, and by this I just mean the top number on the fraction and the bottom number on the fraction. So if you say 1 over 2, the numerator is 1 and the denominator is 2, which is a way of saying out of 2 there is 1. And that's how we get fractions, right? Now, 1 over 2 is a lot. It's half. But
don't you get frustrated?
Half of 20
watching
is not
that?
as important as half of 20 million. And if you,
Right.
obviously, but if you just tell people half of the people voted for this, well, half of the people, how many people are we talking about? If you leave off the larger denominator of explaining, okay, the denominator I'm really talking about in this case could be something like, the most straight up one would be if the denominator is number of people who are eligible to vote in this election, let's call that the denominator, then that numerator starts to seem a lot smaller, right? Because
and
like maybe
doesn't that-
1/13 smaller in this instance.
Doesn't I guess it's
13 times
still and it kind of makes me upset and frustrated
What are you talking about?
when I see or rather when I do not see that context on MSNBC or wherever. I'm just kind of like, okay, the guy I want to win is winning. I am glad.
Yeah, no.
There's the sweaty Congress people are here, and the lady with the big glasses is here.
Everybody's so happy to glom onto a good night for Democrats while doing absolutely fuck all to actually change anything.
Or
Hakeem Jeffries is such a fucking coward. He's such a coward. And then the response to this stuff is to then come out, or let's not even get started on Chuck Schumer. But then the people who come out and they trot out and talk about what a win this is for the Democrats. And then their rejoinder to that, somebody says, well, actually the situation in Virginia, New York City, New Jersey, and California, those are very different situations with very, very different people. And they go, well, that just shows you the strength of our big tent party.
Yeah.
Whereas a cynical person might say, I'm not saying me, but a cynical person might say, well, then what's the pattern there? It sounds like you could hook your train car up to a general dislike of Trump, but a general dislike of Trump has existed for almost 11 years. And that hasn't changed anything. Because here's another denominator thing is that weird 40% number with him, like where his people super duper care and will come out to defend him. Anyways, I just feel like it's not only is it not something they talk about on the news or whatever, it bugs me as when we don't see the context for that in what you're implying it then means. It actually comes up a lot on Hit Parade in some ways, which I listen to.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Just in the sense that it's like one thing about people who love baseball, for example, is that of all the sports, it seems to attract people who are most intrigued by things like statistics. But at least for most of its history, baseball has also been, by and large, one of the most best and most interesting sports with which to follow the statistics. Because pound for pound, for as long as it's been around, not that much has changed about the game. And so there are always asterisk-ish things like this is when the ball changed in this one way. Like the ball that Babe Ruth hit is very different from the ball that Hank Aaron hit. Those are different balls. You've got different balls title. You've got stuff like the asterisk, like steroids year. You got the year there was no World Series. That's an asterisk year. You've got shortened seasons because of the strike, asterisks. And that drives people crazy. Like right now, I'm loving baseball more than ever because of the changes to the game that make it so much shorter. It's so much more fun to watch for me. It's more like watching basketball now instead of just men standing in a field. But
Merlin, what is the difference? Seriously, no. This is important because when I found out about this on how baseball is so much.
I don't know a lot about it. I mean, the phrase I keep hearing is the pitch clock, where there's only so much time before you pitch. They've also I don't know, but like my sense is
in the final inning, if it is tied, automatically the team.
Oh.
You just get players on base, and the first time I heard that, I was like,
that's
wait,
weird. But
what?
that's not going to happen every game. Whereas the pitch clock thing does happen, but also stuff like I think they're cracking down more on how much time it takes to do a given thing. And this actually came up in the 7th game because, my gosh, why are you giving this guy so much time for so many warm-up pitches, and you can challenge that. But anyway, and it's not all great. There's things about the whole like intentional walk thing is completely fucking bananas and should be banned. But then I'm a National League guy, so I don't even understand the designated hitter rule. And that's from the 70s.
The way that you're watching baseball now is how I've always been able to watch baseball and enjoy it, because there are a couple people around me who can explain what the fuck is happening, and
why
the context of, but also the context of like, okay, yeah, this is a double is great in this context. However, when the next pitcher comes up, we do not actually want them to get a home run, because getting too many points this inning means that by the end he's going to be exhausted.
Pitch count.
I just made a thing that doesn't. I don't actually understand.
So anyhow,
but
pitch count's a huge deal. You got to watch that number. So anyhow. And as good, as much as baseball stay the same over time, it's still frustrating to people. And what does that mean? Well, what does that mean? Well, I mean, when you try to, how do you compare anybody? And it's like, it's almost like you start to realize that the illusion of this all being comparable is handy, because there's nothing that directly causes you to reject it. But to me, it just makes you realize it's so difficult to compare even apples to apples. And that's just in baseball. You take it broader, all these different things. In the case of the charts, wow, where do you even begin? If you're a fan of Hit Parade, you know that there's, two of my favorite episodes of Hit Parade are about two epochal events that may not be interesting on the face of it, because it's not about the music, it's about the business. One of them is the introduction of SoundScan in 1990, and the other one is what he calls the war against the single, or the idea that, like, for example, Crazy Thing, You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer was never released as a single, which seems insane.
Whoa.
Like, how did it get so popular? Good question. Well, as it turns out, Billboard, the way that Billboard Hot 100 works, I'm going somewhere with this, I swear to God. But the way Billboard Hot 100 works is it's a combination of record sales and radio play. But then, okay, so that's just one example. Other examples, when they started counting YouTube and Spotify, wow, that's crazy. Spotify listens, or they started counting Apple paid downloads. Like, each one of those things makes it more difficult to confidently compare two things from different times and say like, well, okay, so and let's go to the craziest example we can think of. Drake puts out a new album and every single song goes into the top 10. Right? Now, in 1964, the Beatles did something pretty crazy, which is they had the top 5 singles in the United States at the same time. They had the top 5 singles, which for all kinds of reasons, now other people, so you go, oh, well, that's no big deal. Drake had all of his songs go in the top 10. Oh my God, where do I begin to talk about the denominators on this? Not the same thing against Drake, but like the Beatles, first of all, so many people hated the Beatles. It was crazy that they caught on at all in America. Grown-ups hated the Beatles. People they were just dicks about the Beatles for years, sometimes the entire career. But so that was a really, really, really big deal. And how do we compare that to streams and YouTube views? And it's not to diminish, Gangnam Style or Harlem Shuffle or any of those other kinds of things, but we're talking about very different denominators at this point. You would just turn on the radio and the Beatles were always on. I know this. I think I might know the name of 2 Drake songs, and I think he did that video that became a meme, and apart from his beef with another rapper, I think that's all, and he's Canadian and used to be on TV. There's not that much I know about Drake. For how successful he is, I don't know that much. I know a total of like 5 Beyonce songs, and I like Beyonce. I think Countdown is one of the great songs, but that's where we are now. which the denominators are so different on all of those things that trying to compare them is manic. So you say like, well, yeah, but Drake had these top, and yeah, he sure did. Yeah, that was great. But it wasn't for a year. Like in the case of Dark Side of the Moon was in the top 100 albums for, I think, 20 years. That to me is a much bigger deal than having even all of the top 10 singles on streaming. Look at the difference in the denominators. Look at the difference in longevity. And look at the fact that you could not hear the Beatles everywhere you went, much to some people's chagrin. So the denominator on that is fucking millions of people who don't even know who the Beatles are. And admittedly, today, it might be millions of people who know who Drake, but like, I don't run into Drake songs just like walking around. I don't run into Beyonce songs just walking around. I've listened to Dry TV by the Cindy's way more than I've listened to anything by Beyonce. Nothing against, but that in that instance, there's like 5 reasons for that. The way the culture has gotten so, the number of options we have in culture has caused us to have all these different groups. There's politicization, well, however you want to think about it. But I just, there's a part of my brain that feels like the conversation gets dumb when we leave out that wider denominator problem. I could say something like, if I said something as ridiculous as, two-thirds over 60% of the people in America don't order Carl's Jr. on DoorDash, which would be kind of a weird thing to say. When what I'm really trying to say is 2/3 of the people in my house won't do that. That's a very different denominator. And just because of the availability heuristic of me having that fact at hand based on information, I might draw conclusions about the rest of the world that are a little bit bananas. And whilst I'm very happy that Prop 50 passed, I hate Prop 50. I hate that it exists. I understand why it exists. Oh my God, this is so complicated. I'm really glad it passed, but I'm not sure that you should look at even these 4 wonderful victories as being that meaningful in the absence of a deeper context. I'm not even saying like, oh, we got him this time. I'm not saying any of that. But what I am saying is like, when you leave out the denominator part of that, I think it's difficult to try and infer meaning into these things is all.
Mm-hmm. And you don't think that's intentional in a lot of cases? Because
I think it was last night. I think last night I got this all along, especially everything Rachel Maddow was anchoring, was that it was going to be, I mean, I was ready. All I wanted was good news last night. That's why I was watching. I wasn't watching for bad news. I was watching for good news. I'm sick of watching TV and hearing that fucking music and seeing that needle jump. I'm sick of that, all of that experience being for stuff that inevitably turns out bad. I'm not as bitter as a lot of you. I'm not as angry as a lot of you. I'm not as demonstrative about the things in the world I can't change as a lot of you. That's what makes us different. I wanted to see, because of the future I'd like for my kid, there's things I wanted to see happen. The 3 people who live in my house have thousands of similar reasons and a handful of extremely different reasons to worry about the future. And I want to make sure, I'd like to see the future moving in that direction. And it's frustrating not to. What I don't want to do is get high on my own bag of hopium about what that means about this. And last night, that kind of felt like how they were trying to sell it. And when somebody like Jeffries gets up there and like what he really wants to say is that guy in New York is fucking us up. What he can say is, well, he ran a good campaign and, it's a good night for Democrats. Well, okay. And what are you going to do with that? Like, so you're so excited about this numerator. Now, what are you guys going to do differently? How are you going to capitalize on last night? And the answer is they probably won't do it at all. But because all I watch now is Adam Curtis, I've come to realize that all of their jobs are about keeping their jobs. And their job is not to help us. Their job is to keep their job or get a better job. That's their job.
I would become bitter if I kept watching that all the time. And you're a better, smarter person than I that you can watch Chuck Schumer and not just want to rip off his stupid little glasses. Mm-hmm. And I was
kind of a little bit hostile.
Yeah,
the whole thing was hostile toward me and was hostile toward.
No, not hostile towards.
Amy Schumer's like his second cousin. Did you know
that? No, not. Did you ever see that?
You ever see that video, Last Fuckable Day?
Yes, it took me a second. She goes off with her cigar.
And
Oh,
oh my God, in the Viking boat. We're watching so many things with Patricia Arquette right now. I love her career. And I showed my kid a photo. I said, did you know that she's in a movie that a lot of people think is David Lynch's best movie? With the guy with the guy from The Leftovers.
Oh.
Lost Highway.
Oh,
She and Justin Theroux are in that. Yeah. That's a hell of a movie. Oh, that's a hell of a movie. Anyway, so and then what else did you do? When you sent me photos of you and Kara, what did that have to do with the button?
What are you? Oh no, you, I think, created a great challenge, which is adjacent to. Oh fuck! What I'm going to get it right. You said
so the Kara photo. I'm sorry. The Kara photos are not about the button challenge.
No. Okay. You posted I think you were posting about Adam Curtis and one of his best films, Hypernormalization, and emphasizing how impressive. And I agree.
To make a documentary out of other people's, because it was in the context of talking about The Perfect Neighbor, and I just think it's amazing to use nothing but other people. Oh, and I get it now. I said, yes. And this is deep in the thread, so nobody fucking sees it. And talk about a denominator problem. Social media is a very interesting denominator problem. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Oh, that's good. The
blue sky effect. I don't know what that means still. I don't know.
Because I said, for me, and I'm not a filmmaker. I don't know how to edit things, but I was saying that to me, Adam, I was thinking in particular about this show Shifty, which is his new series it's a little tough to find unless actually it's on YouTube. Somebody put it on YouTube, but it's it's a BBC iPlayer show that I stole from somewhere else called Shifty. And I would say it's kind of his take on the Thatcher era, but that doesn't even begin to get into it. It's very, very good. And
that's what I was watching last night.
Oh shit! Really? Wild. Oh my fucking God! Did you get to the woman reporting an assault to the police?
No. Oh my God! Wait!
My God!
Is this in this third episode?
Might be in the second or third. Have you gotten the New Order? Okay. The New Order song while the horse gallops around.
Yeah. It is.
There's so much good music. There's a really good live performance of Pulp doing Common People. I couldn't find that, but it looks really good. So I said, to me, trying to make something, because like I said, he mainly, I think, obviously, everything he uses mostly is other people's stuff, but primarily a lot of it comes from the archives of the BBC, TV, radio, you name it, right? Mm-hmm. Mainly TV.
Part of what's so impressive to me is that everyone has access to this.
Is that true?
You can, yeah.
I didn't know if he had a special deal, but his producers must be fucking. His producers must be so good. How do they? You know what I'm talking about? Like the incredibly just obscure stuff of just a woman looking in the mirror putting on lipstick, or like how does he find so much good footage of people ballroom dancing in every movie? I have no idea how he does it.
Deep dives and a really talented team who is plugged into.
How do you find, when I say how do you find, not as in how do you do a keyword search on ballroom dancing, but there's one that's it's an entire arc about an Elvis impersonator who wants to fire his agent and ties it into the coal miner strike, and it's holy fucking shit. Anyways, so I said to me,
this is important. No, this is important. The reason Hypernormalization is so good is because it does something with footage that a lot of us have seen a million times, but he also knows enough about the context and has smart enough people around him who were there at more nuanced moments that aren't as important as we think they are, and can go and find that.
But how does he find crazy B-roll where there's no explanation at all of this shot? It's just a shot that's a dissolve between two buildings where what looks like a building turns out to be the mirror of the building you're in. When I say find, how does that make its way into his world? It just seems because it's all purely visual.
Right. And that's why documentaries have writers, though, because you tell the story, like you tell yourself the story you would like to tell. And the special thing about nonfiction, I think
you're describing how to use
change.
Shutterstock. I'm talking about how you find a purely visual image that has no tags affiliated with it for how you would connect an Elvis impersonator with a coal mining strike.
Because you mentioned the producers, but not just producers, but people who are there, the sources of, oh, hey, yeah, I worked at this newspaper. Someone who's the source that's like, yeah, I worked at this newspaper at the time of whatever whatever you want. Like, oh, yeah, I have B-roll of this.
Are you speculating
thing.
about this, or you know this?
I know this,
Okay.
and
How do you know this?
I am speculating about because that is a thing people do with
Okay,
not
so this
with
is
all
not particular to Adam
documentaries.
Curtis. This is a general documentarian approach.
Yes,
Okay.
and film, yeah, and because you can go and just use like what's it called, journalism.com now, and if you don't know what you want,
I've
trying to
never heard of
emphasize-
journalism.com. But I'm not going to
joking.
look.
That's not a no.
So okay, remember we're in a sidebar right now. So go ahead.
Adam Curtis does enough research to know how to find the people who got
that makes sense.
footage.
The sources. Okay. So what I said was, to me, that would be like becoming the yearbook editor for a high school from a different decade. Mm-hmm. And then you put up some photos. That's what you were talking about. Good. So we're done with that one. And those are cute. You guys are so cute. You're both so cute.
I have a pitch for Shifty. This is the first time Adam Curtis has had initially a bigger production house behind him, A24. So it's not just BBC footage. It's not like a stuff from the Creative Commons. Like he had
So more money.
access. Yes, and stuff that no one has been able to see before, which I just think is very cool.
I mean, it's super good. And I actually think, I don't know if I'd recommend it as a first Adam Curtis, because it shares that problem with Trauma Zone of like being told, as much as there is incredible audio in it, it also is, you've really got to be ready to read everything on screen. Like if you aren't ready to read things on screen the second they're up, you're not going to really get much out of this. But when I finished it, I watched the last episode 2 nights ago and went directly into rewatching Can't Get You Out of My Head, which I think might be a good first Adam Curtis in some ways. Because it's got voiceover from him.
I have never seen it. Wow.
It's kind of about, like I said last night. What did I say last night? This is not, of course, it's about more than this. I mean, one thing, when I talk about how much I like Adam Curtis, and I don't mean to seem preemptively touchy, title. I don't mean to seem preemptively touchy about this, but I don't know if even he, quote, believes everything in his movies and TV shows. The point, I think, ultimately of, well, there's several points to draw out of his work. There's a lot about, the dissolution of like shared ideas about reality, I think would be one. I think one of the things that is a basis for everything he says is like, how do you know what you know? Like in the Soviet Union, every one of his films in some ways is about how strange these times are because people don't agree on what's real anymore. And I think that in some ways, I'm probably being a little bit cute and liberal arts about this. I think in some ways that extends to his work, where like, I don't watch his stuff primarily as a source of facts or even secondarily. I mean, I feel like I do learn a fair amount of context because I trust him, but like, I don't agree with everything everybody in it says. Sometimes he's just showing you stuff to show you what the time was like. And QED, as I have become so fond of discussing, stop pretending you knew what a time was like until you've seen what the time was like. Unless you really know what the time is like. There's one that involves a guy with a ventriloquist dummy going and visiting this guy, and it's about this charity for spastics, and they keep saying spastic over and over. So like, it's horrible, and it makes you so uncomfortable watching it, but that's the charity. The charity is called that. And it's like, it's so, there is a scene that is, it kind of drove my wife out of the room. Let's just say, okay, you know that Caitlin Dever, Toni Collette thing, unbelievable. There's a phrase we used to use a lot. Yeah, but what were you wearing? You know, with women. We know that over time, women have made claims of assault of various kinds. And that when they report that to the police, they either don't report it at all. And we've all heard stories or know people who've gotten a very uncomfortable experience dealing with that whole process. Basically, women get raped and try to report it to the police, and the police don't believe them or talk them out of it. Well, imagine, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes of over her shoulder seeing these cops say, well, hadn't you been in an institution? Are you positive of this? Do you understand that when you go to court, this is going to happen? Every single shitty thing we say to women who've been assaulted, these cops are saying on camera to this woman. And it just, you feel your blood boiling because you're like, oh, I've heard about stuff like this. I even know stuff like this. I've seen stuff. I've never seen it like this. I mean, this is, it's like I said last time about the LA documentary I watched where they're using the N-word over the radio in 1965. They didn't give a second thought to that. That's just how they talked in public. And like, it's just something so valuable about seeing people from a time before people knew how to be on TV. As Candid Camera, which is a terrible show, Candid Camera used to say, you know, we catch people in the act of being themselves. And that's a lot of what these are. There's one, did you get to the one, is it in this one? The woman where she has to buzz people in at the building because now there's a camera where she can see who's in the lobby of her building. Have you seen that part yet?
No.
And you can tell she's describing it. And you can see her, she's looking at the screen, and then she'll look to the camera and talk to the person. Well, one likes to know what's going on, and one's blah, blah, blah. And you could tell she's obsessed with it. She can't, obviously, personal data and privacy and surveillance society, huge part of everything he does. But you see how you can see her being drawn into this thing where she can't stop watching and wondering what's happening in the lobby. It's a classic ADHD problem where you think that more information is going to make you feel better. And in that case, more information is wrecking her life because all she sees is a lobby full of bad possibilities. Anyways, so good.
Worst title.
Adam Curtis, and the point of that was... but you can see like
gives more of a denominator.
You see denominators more, and I think the numerators of life start making a ton more sense. Like you probably have an idea in your head about what skinheads are. You probably don't have an idea who Oswald is, or Enoch Powell, or you may not know, what Oi music. You may not know all that stuff, but all they have to do is show you what looks like just the normal punk rock show, and you start to realize it's skinheads. And then the skinheads start fighting very, very violently in front of the stage. And they're throwing furniture. And I mean, it's really bad. It's very, very violent. So there's the first part, which is like, oh, I'm watching a punk rock show. They're like, oh, it's a skinhead show. Oh, it's those skinheads having a fight. You're not there yet. It's skinheads fighting each other. And the guy on stage is plaintively begging, we've got to fight the other people. Part of the National Defense League and all those horrible groups, the National Front. Like, and it's like he's you can tell how sad he is that the skinheads are fighting each other.
You're hating each other wrong.
And meanwhile, one of the skinhead girls with the skinhead girl haircut just kind of wants to kiss on her boyfriend in front of the camera. There's other ones where just people just look straight at the camera. I don't know. Interesting denominators. My button is pretty much what I told you last week. I just want to talk about it very briefly. So I did this thing. You get an action button on a phone now, and I wanted to make it something good. And I could never make it stick. I could never find anything. There's so many. I don't know why. I think of it as like, all the different bullshit they put into messages over time, and you use it for 2 days and never use it again. Like stickers.
There's polls
or whatever.
there too.
And so the people from Poland.
You can poll in iMessage.
I haven't got it to work. Have you tried it? Have you gotten it to work?
I have never tried it. No.
Well, actually, I mean, I've been able to make a poll. My family hasn't seen the poll, but I don't know. The one I get confused about, do you remember there's a thing they added, like, I don't know, at least 5 years ago, where it would, how you get the little fill-in tab of, is this the next word that you want? You could do a thing where you send something with a question to people, and if it parses it right, you know what I'm talking about? You say, do you want Thai food or Indian food? Is an example. And then when it arrives, your autofill tabs include Thai or Indian. Have you ever done that?
Oh, no, I thought...
That's old. This is an old thing, but I could never get it to work consistently. So I didn't socialize it with the family.
Fill tabs.
So I always try to find a use for the action button, and I was really proud of myself because I came up with a use for the action button that goes straight into a longstanding wish of mine. I don't know. It's just this is really boring, but it's just to me a good symphony of how technology plus a little self-awareness can improve your life. So I've previously pulled a couple pieces together here. I've talked before about how Chatty G and I made this drafts action, meaning it's just a JavaScript thing for a text editor. And every day I can hit this button and it'll create a new file for my day and ensure that it is unique in terms of findability. And so anytime I hit that button, it either makes the new file, or if the file already exists, it opens that file. I was clever enough to figure out that's, just creating a new file wouldn't be smart, because then I'd have, every time I went back to it or tried to reuse the action, it would just make a new file. That's no good, right? So I was pretty proud of myself that Chatty G and I came up with that. And I've been using that for, I don't know, a month or so, and I love it. It's great. I just begin the day every day with a friendly voice, companion and unobtrusive. Plays that song that's so elusive, and the magic music makes your morning move. And so what I do is I'm able to go in and I say, click it. Last night at 12:06, I clicked it and it made my new Wednesday file, and it's filled in. I thought that was really cool. And if I click that button in the right rail, it'll take me right to that file. That's really great. So all I did was create a shortcut automation that when I click that button, it opens or creates today's today file and takes me to the last place that I was in it. And it's been fucking great. And I'm pleased with my self-awareness to realize I could bring these things together. And I'm in some ways even more pleased with my self-awareness to remember to use it, because now I use it a lot and I'm loving my action button.
Oh, well, that's great.
But go ahead.
The one thing that I've been doing all week that was not a failure, using
the one thing that I've been doing all week that was not a failure.
It's been a week. We used to, I think, both of us had those old Hue buttons, right? That would basically charge themselves from.
Oh my God! One of those completely stopped working, and it drove my kid crazy. The tap switch. I had to buy another one. What the fuck?
Yeah,
It works great, and it's so clever because clicking the buttons is what charges it. How clever is that?
Yeah.
Tap switches are what changed smart home stuff for me. Full stop.
I was a while ago. I ended up getting the new version because the
one with the four,
they broke
the four
and
on it, like a flower, or the dimmer kind.
The dimmer, yeah.
I've gone in on the dimmer kind. I've got one with the four. Well, it's the three, well, technically 4 buttons. One, that's the tap switch. There's another, they've got one that's called the Hue dimmer. There's a couple models of that you want to differentiate. And then there's also that one that's got like four like quarters of a circle. Sorry, I'm thinking of pie graphs.
Yeah,
anyways, you got one.
No, so I've just had those for a while, and they're really basic on, off, or and they changed based on time of day and who is at home, because Matt likes a specific type of light, like just dimmer or after 10 p.m.
Yeah.
We have like chill lights, and
it takes time. It takes time, and I stopped doing it because of how many times I had to recreate them when something broke. But time of day changes are very fucking cool, whether it's on your watch or your switches or whatever. If you can get it to work and not have to remake it every few weeks, it's fucking great.
Yeah, I did not touch that because that has worked great for like a decade. It's wonderful. But
may you live in a world where you never have to change a HomeKit scene for 30 bulbs.
So
My shortcut for that is
I
generally.
literally got chill. Oh,
Well,
God,
like,
there's
okay, and you know how I do that
goosebumps.
now?
Ew.
Because it's such a fucking pain to do anything in that app, is I just start from scratch and I say out loud something like, hey, Dingus, set all lights to, I don't know, goldenrod. You can find a list out there of all the colors you can pick. They're kind of like hex numbers, but you can say like, set lights to 100%, set all lights to this color. And then you can blah, blah, blah. And if that's close enough to what you want to be your default set, then create a new scene based on that. It's so, because trying to change all of those devices, hoping they're connected right. And I've got arrays of things that are like 5 light bulbs or like, recessed or track lights where it's like, there'll just be one that just never works. And I reset it and it doesn't work. And like having to change those scenes is so excruciating. There's no interface for it apart from clickety click click.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just even, like whenever it was, I always think of Yahoo as being the ones who invented multi-line clicks, or like the way on like Gmail where you can control click to do all click boxes in between here and there. Like that was from the mid 2000s. And you don't have that in HomeKit. You can't say like, here, select all of these lights and do this thing, which is insane to me.
Okay.
There's no command A.
Right.
There's no multi-click. There's no like command click.
Oh, like in the. I see what you're saying. Yes.
Well,
I don't even know if I know how to
had
use the app.
What if I had? Yes, I can make them into a group. But what if they're not a group?
Mm-hmm.
What if they're different light bulbs that are just all? What if I've gone all in on this wonderful new technology and I've got, let's say, for example, 30 of them at my office of different kinds and different systems and different blah blah blahs that have accreted over time. What if I want to make a new scene where they're all MAT compliant? How would you do that? Well, just clear your calendar. Like, it's going to take you so
3 weeks.
Okay, because even when you get it right and it works once and you say test this scene, right? You say test this scene and you save it and you go, and then I have one that's lights off, that just turns off every light in the place. I keep that updated so I can test, right? Then you do lights off. You click that. What are the chances that it works the first time you click it? You're going to have to go in and test each one of those and make sure it's right. Or you're going to be, oh no, all of them are fine except for, they're all this beautiful golden hue that I wanted, except for this one that is like screaming blue daylight at 100% brightness. And then I have to go in and manually change each one of those little pieces of shit. They don't care about that stuff. They don't care. It's so frustrating.
Oh, no.
I think they ought to care. They sold us the stuff.
No. That is kind of why I've avoided anything except the hue lights, and I've been able to because I love my tiny little trick apartment. But with the exception of those Wemo switches, or sorry, not switches, smart plugs that are now just don't work. And yeah,
I don't know if y'all got the email, but every Wemo thing you ever bought from the company that I really admire and like, Belkin, every Wemo thing you ever bought, if it still works, it's an accident.
Mm-hmm, yep. Just doesn't.
It just doesn't know it's dead yet. It's like Wile E. Coyote running in midair.
Yeah, I think it died a while ago. I just didn't know because
it was officially emailed about it. I learned about it like last month. But I haven't been using those. I went in on Eve stuff. Eve instead.
Okay,
Classified.
yeah. So on Amazon, I just got one of those like Smarty Smarty strip. Where you can assign a plug or each outlet has not outlet. What do you like a power strip where each?
Are you talking about a smart power strip?
Yeah,
Smart power strip is a power strip where every outlet on it is addressable through smart home stuff. Yeah, which Eve has something called the power. I think it's called the power. I forget what, not the power strip, but I've got several of the Eve ones, and they work really well because it's neat because they got 3 outlets with 3 buttons, but you can also anything you could do with HomeKit, you can do with it.
Yeah, and for the longest time, I've had a box under my desk that says Flick, and it has 3 little buttons in it. Have you ever heard of the Flick family of products? Mm-hmm. No, really? Have you used them? Oh my God.
I bought a few.
Okay.
It's like FLIC, something like that. But they're
yes,
just little buttons you can. The idea was, this is also in the era, God, when Amazon would sell you a button just for reordering a particular box of Gain detergent. Remember that when they had like bespoke buttons? Yeah, I had a flick button, and the idea was that you could program it to do whatever you wanted. Was the idea? Yeah.
Yeah, and I just never did anything with them because I was like, okay, a gift that I did not want, but I would feel bad throwing it away. They not only still work, but the company is like alive and well, and
that's great.
still making it is compatible with Matter, Home Assistant, but you can also plug it into HomeKit. All of that's pretty much everything that the Wemo app let you do, and it will work with Eve. Like, it is exactly what I wanted, which is now I push a button that turns every light in my apartment off, except for the ones in my bathroom. Starts my Spotify morning playlist and logs the time and no, location doesn't matter, but it logs the time and the location in a file in Dropbox. It appends it so that I know. Yeah, and I used to do that. Well, I do, in theory, do that manually to just get over shower dysphoria stuff so that I can see the trend line, because we love trend lines here now. And it has been very useful unless you need to mark a thing of like, I was miserable and like hallucinating and nothing happened today and I didn't do anything until this time. But for the past 6 days, I just have pushed a button and it has worked. It's like, okay, there are no other lights in the house except the bathroom, which is the place where you need to go and do the thing. Also, this nice Spotify playlist that always brings you joy is going. So why not? It can't be that bad. It's fine. And I just really enjoy it. And for something to work flawlessly for 6 days, to use like 3 different APIs. That's
hard to believe.
From a decade ago. Yeah. And if this was just 6 days of a good, not even a habit, but just a good thing that has happened, I really enjoyed it. And like most of what it's doing is using Ifttt, which I've always used like in the background, but not for really powerful stuff, just like sending stuff via RSS feeds or appending things to a Google Sheet. But you can do a lot with this. A lot of integrations. Yeah, and I mean, I'm just like, it's a bunch of stuff and it's another dingus, but it is a good replacement for what Wemo was doing, and I don't need to manually open Obsidian to append to Dropbox.
Oh, that's a good button. Good for you. That's a great one.
Enjoyed. Yeah, well, and I also, there was 3 in the box, and I made another one that makes my phone honk, and it's right by the door. So if I've forgotten, I leave, touch my pockets, keys, phone, wallet before you leave the apartment. And when I don't have my phone, sure, you can use Find Me on your Apple Watch, but it's not that loud. So if you have a flick button, you can push it and then your phone honks really loud and overrides the mute switch. Honk. So 2 buttons that have worked consistently for 6 days. And maybe I'll get my soundboard to work at the end.
Perfect.
Say something. Oh, what's a funny?
Well, I mean, it sounds to me like you're assuming that I'm done.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. Fuck it. The one I really want to talk about, I just sent you.
I interrupted.
No, it's going to be short for this episode. If you really want to be happy, tear up one of your old Mac.
Oh, this is pretty.
No, please keep going, please.
No,
I'm sorry. Did I interrupt you? I apologize.
No.
I was kidding. I was being sarcastic. You completely cockblocked me. If you ever want to be... Okay, stop talking for a second. Can you not make a noise for a minute? If you want to be happy, tear up one of your old Mac keyboards and turn the buttons on your keyboard into refrigerator magnets. One drop of super glue and a little magnet, and you're done. What do you think? Wouldn't this make you happy to have this on your fridge? Now, Dougie might not allow you to have these. These are not load-bearing magnets.
Oh, well.
Wow. Aren't these cute, though? And then it's like, so I've shown you here, escape, delete, command, return or enter. It's fun. Like, it's like, like refrigerator poetry. You could put these on different photos. Like I could put this on my photo of my kid and go delete.
Oh, are these family approved? Not just at your office?
It's a refrigerator we keep our food in.
I thought you had a refrigerator at your office. You've got a lot of
people can have
beverages.
There can be more than one refrigerator in the world.
Exactly.
If we only had one. Now that's a denominator problem. We would need a big refrigerator for everybody.
I mean, there's gonna be grocery.
Yeah, but then you're gonna be dealing with
a grocery store, neighborhood fridges.
Nope, bigger problem. You're gonna be dealing with then. Big fridge. See, God damn it! I thought you wanted big fridge, like big tennis, like big oil,
like big ice, I dinged.
Found a photo of my friend Ben, who used to work at WFSU. He is now working at a different thing, and he's gotten older. And there's a wonderful feature that the woman who cut my hair... Oh, wait, no, she didn't write this one. But a website that's co-written by the woman who used to cut my hair about his old garage band, the Slut Boys, before he worked at WFSU. There's Ben Wilcox. Hi, Ben Wilcox, if you're alive. I think he's alive. He was in a band called Cold Water Army that I liked a lot.
Cold Water Army. That's
Yeah.
a good name.
It is a good name. It is a good name. So, buttons... denominators. We've learned so much today. This is our fourth worst episode.
I'm gonna say 3.5. There was a half really, really bad. You want
to take another shot at that one, or is that what you're going with?
That it's the 3.5 worst episode.
What the fuck does that mean? See, I was making an actual joke. What does yours mean? What am I to draw from that? What does half mean?
You were to draw that you are the funnier person because I took it and I could not turn it. It was just petered out, just fell
Didn't turn
flat.
it at
And
all.
that's what.
Huh?
No.
You took it, but you
pushed
didn't turn it.
It was not a load-bearing joke. I tried.
I think you took it. I think you took it. You hit it. You misplaced it. You hallucinated that you found it, and then you asked a question about it. But you did not turn it.
At least I care about the answer to the question. I'd really want to know the answer.
You done?
I'm done.